It was 2:13 a.m. when security guard Mark Jenkins first noticed movement on the monitors. A flicker of motion in a building that should have been sealed shut for the night. The massive office complex was empty, locked down tight. Mark was certain he was the only living soul inside its concrete walls. He leaned closer, his eyes fixed on the screen for camera 3. It showed a man walking with a slow, deliberate pace down the East Wing hallway. There was no urgency in his steps, just a calm, measured stride, as if he owned the place, as if he knew exactly where he was going. Mark watched for another moment, a strange feeling creeping up his spine. There was something about the way the figure moved, the set of his shoulders, the rhythm of his walk. It felt unsettlingly familiar. Grabbing his heavy-duty flashlight from the desk, Mark pushed his chair back and left the relative safety of the control room. The click of the door behind him echoed loudly in the cavernous silence. He made his way to the East Wing, his own footsteps mimicking the ones he'd just seen on screen. Each sound amplified in the empty building. When he reached the corridor, he shined his flashlight beam down its entire length. Nothing, just a long stretch of polished floor, reflecting the stark, cold emergency lights. No sign of anyone. The air was still and silent. Confused, maybe a little spooked, he hurried back to the security room. He needed to see that footage again, to make sure his tired eyes weren't playing tricks on him. The moment he stepped inside, his blood ran cold. The footage on camera 3 was still playing. The mysterious man hadn't vanished. In fact, he had just reached the end of the hallway. Mark stared, his heart pounding against his ribs, as the figure on the screen stopped. Slowly, unnervingly, the man began to turn, facing directly toward the camera lens. Mark froze, the breath caught in his throat. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The man staring back at him from the monitor looked exactly like him. The same tired eyes, the same 5 o'clock shadow, the same rumpled security guard uniform. He was even holding the same model of flashlight, a perfect, impossible reflection. But Mark knew with absolute certainty that he hadn't walked down that hallway tonight. He glanced at the timestamp, blinking in the corner of the screen. The numbers were changing, matching the current time second by second. This wasn't a recording, it was happening in real time. A wave of dizziness washed over him. How could he be in two places at once? With trembling hands, he slowly, reluctantly, turned his head to look at the dark hallway just outside the control room's glass-paneled door. For a split second, a single, terrifying second, he thought he heard it. Footsteps, soft but distinct. Approaching then, behind him, the monitor flickered. His eyes snapped back to the screen. Camera 3 showed a new, even more horrifying image. The man who looked just like him was no longer down the hall. He was now standing directly outside the security room door. His image filled the screen, his expression unreadable, his hand reaching for the doorknob. Some security cameras record the past, but on this night, in this empty building, Mark Jenkins discovered that others can show you a future you won't survive. This is Untold Mystery Files. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more strange tales.